everyone, and thank you for coming to my presentation. I'm Jessica Crooks, and we're going to start off with a pop quiz. On the left side of the screen are 5 different countries, and on the right are the weeks that each country pays for maternity leave. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to just shout out how many weeks you think that country pays for maternity week. So Canada, how many of those
50 weeks.
50. You 12? Okay. What about Pakistan?
0.
You think 0?
Ah!
Okay, 0. What about England?
I'd say 12 for England.
12?
Yeah.
16, okay. What about Spain?
16.
In the United States?
0!
United States, it's 12.
You think it's 12?
I think
12
it's 12.
states?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 0 because you have to use your vacation time.
But
All right. Well, Canada pays 50 weeks of maternity leave.
I was right.
Pakistan pays 12 weeks. England pays 20 weeks. And Spain pays 16 weeks. The United States of America pays no maternity leave. They do offer 12 weeks, but that's under FMLA and it's not paid. Maternity leave is that period after birth for the mom to take off of work to bond with her baby. But not very many moms take advantage of maternity leave, and the biggest reason is because they can't afford it. 88% of women working do not have access to any paid maternity leave or any financial help after they have a baby. So they're out of the money if they don't work. 23% of the women who do decide to take that maternity leave go back to work 2 weeks into the leave. Let me see what else I have. I interviewed a young lady who's now a mother of an 18-month-old who did not have paid maternity leave, but she knew the time with her baby was going to be so valuable that she went ahead and took off time from work. She only wanted to take a couple weeks off. She didn't plan on taking that whole 12 weeks off. She ended up taking 10 weeks off of unpaid time because of some health issues. She had high blood pressure at the end of her leave. But before her baby, she was absolutely debt-free. After she went back to work, after 10 weeks of no income coming in, she was $8,000 in credit card debt. Some moms are afraid to lose their position or their job if they take maternity leave. Yes, FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act, allows you to be off of work for 12 weeks, but you have to qualify for FMLA. So if you have been with your employer for less than 12 months, work for a smaller employer with only 50 employees, or you make a lot of money at that company, one of the top 10%, you don't qualify for FMLA. So they can fire you, or you can lose your position. And other mothers just don't feel supported. They feel like having a baby is an inconvenience. I read a very interesting article in Cosmo magazine about a mom who told her employer that she was pregnant, and the employer, and she asked the employer, would I be guaranteed my job after I have the baby? And he said, well, we can't guarantee it, but more than likely you'll still have it. Well, she took her time off, but because she was so worried about losing her position, she still worked when she was technically off. She was still answering phone calls and doing special projects. And when she came back to work, her boss would ask her, well, what's going to happen when your baby becomes sick? What are you going to do? And the mom was like, well, I'm going to have to take off. And she uses the word inconvenience. She felt like she was an inconvenience to her employer because she had a baby. The effects of not taking maternity leave is very, very severe. Moms are more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. There's been a study that shows pregnancy messes with that part of the brain that handles the depression and the anxiety, and that's why moms are big worriers. But suicide is the second most common death among new moms within the first year because they're depressed. Babies also suffer when their mom's not home with them. They feel a sense of loss. And I've read, I watched a presentation by a lady named Jessica Shortall from TED Talk. She shared a story about a mom who had to go back to work because she couldn't afford to stay home anymore. and her baby started losing weight. The baby refused to absolutely eat. Now, I think the lady was a waitress. Jessica didn't exaggerate on that. But she asked her boss if her mom, the baby's grandma, could take the baby up to her 4 times during a shift, just so she could breastfeed this baby, just so her baby would eat. And also, babies are less likely to get their immunizations and see the doctor, and be less likely to be breastfed if their mom's not staying home with them. Again, we talked about maternity leave around the world. The United States is one of 3 countries in the entire world that do not offer paid maternity leave. And mind you, the United States of America is a first world country. America's maternity law is actually under something called the Family Medical Leave Act, FMLA. It's not its own separate law. And as we discussed, you have to qualify for that. Not very many women do. There are several ways America can improve this law. There's several different ways America can find the money to help pay for these moms to take the necessary time off to spend with their babies. The first is the government can pay. The government is already helping Americans through food stamps and Medicaid and other Social Security. Why can't they help put a little bit of money short term for a mom who just had a baby? Then the employer can go ahead and help pay for this. Paid, if the employer decides to pay, help financially pay, it's going to be considered a good benefit, and the company is going to attract more employees, and more employees are going to want to work for that. And those companies that offer paid maternity leave, like Netflix and Google, they have seen less turnover, and less turnover is actually saving the company money. They don't have to retrain and go re-recruit more people. And finally, us, the employee or the taxpayers, can even help pitch in. Michigan has spent $10 million of taxpayer monies to replace those orange construction barrels that are going to get hit by a car and destroyed. Why can't they put that $10 million towards something that's going to be good for the taxpayer? Why can't they turn it around? Why can't our $10 million go back to us? And again, this is short term. 12 weeks is fine, I think, for maternity leave. Something is better than nothing. The benefits of paid maternity leave is the less turnover for a company. Women are more likely to go back to work after having paid maternity leave. And the company's going to find higher quality of candidates. Now, I talked a lot about how maternity leave, how mothers need paid maternity leave, but fathers do too. It takes 2 to make a baby. It takes 2 to raise a baby. So that was my presentation about why America needs paid maternity leave. Thank you all for coming, and hope you learned something.
What he wants to do
Are you
is
recording
have
another
people,
video?
like,